For the record.
For the record. For the record. For the record.
Here's for the record.
Record.
Here's for the record. Here's for the record.
Well, and here we are back again. Welcome to For the Record. Today we have on Cory Felt.
What up?
How you doing, buddy?
Great, man.
Okay,
Thanks for
man.
having me. Thanks for flying me out, putting me up in the hotel.
Thanks for having me. Waste my gas to get the fuck over here. Well, yeah. A lot of people don't know, but Cory's one of the founder members of our whole little connection from back in the day. This is a great rendition of what our group of people lives and listens by. And you want to tell us what album you picked?
God Loves Ugly. I think most this and Life Gives You Lemons definitely the two biggest atmosphere albums for me.
Definitely. Yeah, God Loves Ugly 2002. I think this was his third or fourth album.
Yeah.
As a connected a group atmosphere. Because the first one was Overcast, and that was 1997. This is 2002.
Oh. What was the other dude in that group?
The other rapper.
I liked him.
Yeah, that was.
Damn.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on that right now. But no, that was a very.
Diabolic?
No, not Diabolic. Diabolic does stuff with Immortal Technique. That was.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't have my phone
We'll
on
get
me.
He'll hit us halfway through the fucking. Hey, that's what his name was.
No, but that was Outkast's that first record. And that was a very good record. It's very dark though.
Yes.
Like the darkest.
What's the big song on that one? That was the first atmosphere song I ever heard. It's in the clouds.
Yeah, that's off that Overcast.
Yeah, what's
Scapegoat? Scapegoat?
No,
That
Scapegoat's
song's
on here.
Scape is on here. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually the second album
No,
by
Scapegoat.
Atmospheres Collective.
You gotta look up Overcast now. We gotta see who the second rapper was on it. I cannot remember his name.
Alright, keep on talking while I look it up.
What's your favorite song on this album? Do you know the song name?
I have to see him. There's a ton of good songs.
Right.
On this.
No, this is like front to back. Like,
I think Modern Man's Hustle, honestly.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Spawn.
Spawn. Thank
That's
you.
right. Thank you. Yeah, Modern Man's Hustle. Lucy is obviously great. Saves the Day.
Saves the Day will always, it's not my favorite, but it will always have a warm place in my heart because when I was in 7th grade outside of open gym, my good friend John Goodlow came up to me.
Bad High.
Yeah, Bad Hat. Shout out Johnny G. But he came up to me after basketball. He's like, "Yo, check this out." It was like Sony CD Walkman, and it was "Saves the Day" by Atmosphere, and just blew my mind. Like, yo, white people actually can do this, and get away with it. Like, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is how my brain thinks. I'm fucking all about it. And ever since then, wanted to rap.
And it was, basically it was you guys that got me into hip hop, other than some of the earlier stuff I listened to. That was just like an album that we got. I didn't even care about the group. It would just be an album Pat would have got or something, you know?
Right.
But Atmosphere was the first group that really hit me. That was hip hop. That had something to say. You know,
Where you just didn't hear it, you felt it.
Yeah, that's how I'm not the biggest hip hop guy, but that's how I always explain the difference in hip hop and rap. Is rap's supposed to make you move, and hip hop has something to say.
Yeah.
Not that they both can't do
Yeah.
the opposite, but That's how I like to think about it. You know?
Yeah, Atmosphere is like working man's music. It's like working man's rap. You know what I mean? Like,
Relatable.
yeah, you can relate to it. You know, he's talking about people struggling. I really
Blacking up and wondering what house you're in, and it's actually your own, so you're so fucking wasted.
so fucked up from the night before. Yeah,
This is your home. This is where your life lives.
yeah, in her glass. Yeah,
Glass house, yeah.
yeah,
Glass
great
house.
song.
Yeah. And he's, you know, Ant and Slug are so approachable too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there hasn't been a show that we've all gone to that we didn't get to meet one of them. You know,
Yeah.
because they're hanging out in the crowd or walking the line or something like that.
I still have yet to meet Slug. Never met him.
serious?
Yeah,
I've
met
been to
Ant,
15.
like plenty of times, but never.
Yeah. I've been to 15 Atmosphere shows. I've met Slug twice.
I think I've met him twice and I've been to like 4 to 6. I can't
Well,
remember.
because like he always goes out front and meets people in the line, but we're never in the line. We pregame.
Yeah. One time I was in line when we met him, and you remember our big friend Chuck? He's like
Oh yeah,
6'5", like offensive lineman.
yeah.
Well, we're just standing there, and he can clearly see over all of us in the whole line. And he's like, "Hey, who is this asshole coming around shaking everyone's hands like he knows everybody?" And I turn around, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's the guy you just paid money to come see." That show is hilarious.
Funny.
At that show, I remember super drunk kid. We're in like the second row behind the standing area at the Wilma. Back in the day before they
Yeah.
remodeled. Well, you stand in the second row because it was easy to smoke there. Because it's the hardest place for anyone to get to bust you. Well, this drunk kid came in the row in front of us and was just bouncing off the row behind him and in front of him.
Jesus.
And then started bouncing off of Big Chuck's wife and Montine and I, and he had enough. He grabbed this little kid by the back of his neck and pulled him up, turned him around just with his wrist, and looked at him and he's like, "You gotta leave." And the kid just shook his head and just left.
It's hilarious.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
ragdolled him, just get out of here.
Fucking Darth Vader'd his ass. That's hilarious.
It was good.
You remember? I think it was actually the God Loves Ugly tour, and we all went together and everything. This was still back in the day when Atmosphere was like, because nowadays it's like Slug and then there's a DJ. But this was back in the day when it was like full band
AWOL
shit.
1 or whatever was the last guy I saw him with.
And we were in the crowd, and I went and stood up on one of the chairs, and then the whole row got filled in, and like I couldn't get down off that chair.
And you were leaning on my shoulders. That was
Yeah,
the
like-
God Loves Ugly tour.
Okay,
no,
yeah.
that was Life Gives You Lemons.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, and
Okay,
like
sorry.
the bouncer's like, "Hey, get down!" I was like, "I can't." Like, there's no room. He's like,
What
"All
song
right."
was it? What song was it? Nick's
Modern
leaning
Man.
on our shoulders.
No, that was
crying.
yeah, I was tearing up. That was
Guarantees.
no, that was when you wake up, Sunshine. Yeah, Sunshine.
Sunshine.
And I'm just tearing up. I'm like eye level with Slug, and like I'm like 3.5 feet above everyone, just like in my own world. It was beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, that was fucking my favorite tour. You know,
Yeah.
it was so much fun.
Yeah, he had the live band and everything. It was the most epic.
We're lucky to have seen him on
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah,
Yeah. Usually, typically, I've tried to go and see every show he does because he's such an amazing artist. Like, every time, just like he blows me. Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to hear the same 7 songs or whatever. But every time, he does something new. And
Well,
it
and then he
just,
incorporates the town he's in. He always like
Yeah.
freestyles that in, tells a story
Yeah.
about the town.
I've heard of like people going to Las Vegas from here, seeing him here, and then like 2 weeks later seeing him in Vegas. And he's like, it's not even comparable. Like maybe it's just the energy, the crowd, or he's just like, I'm in Vegas, like rep. But he loves Montana, from my understanding. It's
Used
like,
to.
It's like a mini version of Minneapolis.
Yeah,
that he supposedly lived here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
lived in Bozeman. Lived in Bozeman. That song, God's Bathroom Floor, was written about a woman in Bozeman or something. I was drunk.
Crazy.
Remember that show?
Go figure.
We went to a show that was behind. It was behind one of the breweries in Missoula. It was an open air show, and he explained this whole story about that song. He was like, "Yeah, I used to live here. I used to live in Bozeman." That
That was
song
at Big Sky.
It was a Big Sky.
It was
Yeah.
a Big
Yeah.
Sky was slightly stupid, I think.
Yep, it was. It was. Yeah, and he explained that story. I remember being like, God damn, like,
I
no
remember
wonder
it
he
was
likes
not
it here
good
so
enough.
much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, how can you not like it here?
Yeah. Who
Shit,
doesn't?
even like Tech Nine. Like Tech Nine started several of his like nationwide tours in Missoula because he loves it so much.
Yeah.
When you mentioned him loving Montana, you know, that was the artist that came to my mind, was Tech Nine, because, man, I've seen him same amount of times as Atmosphere, like 5 or 6 times, and every show, you can see him 3 years straight, and every show, he might play the same songs, plus, minus a few,
But he's
but the
going
show
all
is
out.
incredible.
What tour was it that he did back-to-back nights?
That was
I know with
Greaves.
Greaves, but what was the occasion for that? I forget. What was the album?
Greaves dropped an album.
And then he also dropped an album, I think.
I don't know the exact album.
But I know he went back-to-back nights, and I went to both nights, and
So did
each
I.
night was different.
Oh,
Is that
shit.
For All My Friends?
I
Might
think
have
you're
been.
right.
Yeah.
It was For All My Friends.
And that
that.
album is long, too, so
Yeah, it's a
that,
good
that
album.
makes sense.
It's one of my favorite albums, actually. It's like, yeah, it's
It's very hard for me to say which album of his is my
Yeah.
favorite, but I
They
do.
all hit different.
I love them all.
Yeah.
You know, you could mention one and be like, yeah, I like that one a lot too.
It's crazy how like progressive he's gotten with it. Like you
Yeah,
can
the-
totally like go back to his first album and first recordings and being like, "Ah, this is a young kid."
The maturity.
Yeah, and then now listen to what he's putting out. It's like, yeah, he's a old mature.
This is a grown ass man right here. I'm listening to. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shit. When we started listening to him, we were like, or I mean, at least like, back when he lived on the west side of town, you know, like, what's that, 15 years ago or something? 12 years ago at least? I don't know.
Probably like
I
17.
know. Yeah,
A long time ago.
I know. I started hanging out at Mother Wilson's when I was like 15. That was like 17 years ago.
Right, and that's like,
And you guys were doing it before me.
Yeah. I sent a picture to Ben that was like 20 years old yesterday.
Holy shit.
this will be this December, it'll be 20 years for me here.
Damn.
So, in
Badass.
like January, I will have known you guys all 20 years.
Holy shit.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
congratulations to that.
Right?
Just a little snippet with it. Spawn was one of the co-founders of the Atmosphere and everything, Mr. Derek Turner. And yeah, when he left, Ant became a solid part, so it became Slug and Ant.
And Ant, like, hit the beats that he creates is,
He's like the Dr. Dre of hip hop, is how I think of him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I hate Dre's raps, but that guy made the best fucking rap beats ever, I feel
Right.
like. But that's where Ant is to me. Like,
Yeah. Also, Ant produces, like, as far as I know, a majority of Brother Ali's beats.
A lot of them, yeah.
And the,
Prof stuff too.
Yeah.
He's in every once in a while.
and the,
I did a
like,
little bit of profs, yeah.
if you look at, like, the diversity between his beats and Brother Ali's beats, it's just like, I would never have assumed that.
Yeah, it's
because,
like-
he matches that
It's like
energy.
jazzy a little bit for Brother Ali, and then it's just it has the same element but minus the jazz, a little more attitude, almost
Yeah.
for atmosphere, you know.
Yeah.
Like just this right here, you know, you can
Right.
hear it's a little aggressive, but it's great.
Yeah.
You know, like, and everything he samples, he doesn't overdo the samples.
No.
You know, like he takes the perfect clips out of stuff.
Which sucks because when I'm digging and I come across a sample, I'm like, oh, this is so dope. Where have I heard this before? And I'll sit there and listen to it, and it's like, ah, shit.
It's already been done.
I can't use it. I
The
cannot.
atmosphere song "Less One."
Yeah.
I love
Less
that song.
Yeah.
I heard the original song for that. Like I'd never heard it before. Like 3 weeks ago
Wasn't
at
there
work.
a doo-wop song or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm at work and I just hear like this. It's like the bass line. Da da dum 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 dum. Da da dum 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 dum. And I was like, man, what is that? And I legit haven't been listening to half as much music as I used to. Like I
Right.
listen to the same shit still. Basically, I haven't
Yeah.
expanded very much, you know.
Well,
But that just something about it just triggers a memory. You know, it's like it's a different tone, it's a different tempo and everything, but it's still.
Yeah, you're like, I know.
I was like, it's an atmosphere song, and then like 10 minutes later, I'm literally like wiring up a switch box, and I'm like, less one. Will you look up the song less one for me?
Apprentice, look this shit up.
What are we going on about?
If you guys don't mind, this was actually a very nice little snippet for the biography of Slug. So Slug was born Sean Michael Daly in Minneapolis, Minnesota, September 7th, 1972. So he'll be 50 this year.
Holy shit!
The son of Valerie and Craig Daly.
He's 3 weeks older than my mom.
The son of Valerie and Craig Daly. He is of Irish, Norwegian, African American, and Native American descent. Slug's nickname
What a
comes
fucking
from
mix!
yeah. Slug comes from the nickname comes from his father, and his father and his father's friends would call him Sluggo, and it turned into Little Sluggo, which was shortened to Slug. And Atmosphere very first started off in the early years. Slug was actually the DJ.
Yeah.
And Spawn handled the lyrics. And then the group eventually turned into Ant taking over and began collaborating with music with people as MC Musa, Black Hole, Full Circle, Abstract Pack, which had an Abstract Rude in it.
Abstract Rude was
And
the
they-
first hip hop album
Yeah.
I ever had. Was an Abstract Rude album.
No shit.
Yep.
And that began the early years
With the
of
Scorpion.
their whole
Yeah.
collective. It was the mid-90s, and the crew was called Headshots.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. That's why
Headshots.
there's like headshots up to volume 9 or
Which
something, right?
Headshots?
1 through 7.
If you go to 7th Street Entry, Headshots, that song, damn, like that. Especially if you do
Dino
the
Spectrum, Depot Dynamics.
Dino Spectrum. I
Depot
really like.
Dynamics.
which I have that on vinyl. Most people
What's
just
that
skip
song?
over it.
Wooden Ships. What's that one from?
Wooden Ships. That
Ships on the water.
I know what song it is. I just
I think
don't.
that's a Headshot one, to be honest. I'm not
Probably.
positive, though.
I love that fucking
Yeah.
song. It's just like Woman Tonight, where I can just let the beat just roll and roll and roll.
Yeah.
She giggles because I
So many
sleep with
good
a body pillow. You know Slug's called the Body Pillow Pimp, right?
Said that a couple times.
That's off Woman Tonight.
Yeah.
The Body Pillow Pimp.
Yeah, Woman Tonight, and then 20 questions.
Yes.
20 or
No,
20
dude.
answers. What?
20 answers.
Dude,
Yeah.
that whole album. I mean, the first two Felt albums and the fourth. I really like that.
Well,
I think
20 answers never made it on an actual album.
That's right. It's just
Nope.
on YouTube and shit.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, which is it's crazy because it's like that beat when I hear
And
that
it's
beat
so
like every
emotional.
time I'm just like
So talk about Felt. Do you know who is Lucy?
I think you probably told me this. This cat.
No, who is Lucy? She's the extra that gets to play the devil in my movie. She's around uptown sipping a beer smoothly.
So is she just like some figment?
Not to him.
Lucy Ford.
No.
Well, that was like I don't. Is Lucy and Lucy Ford connected?
I don't know.
I never thought it was.
I think Lucy's like a promenade, where it's an actual like a subjective of like heartbreak and everything,
It's
and it goes along with like what
it's like
seven
all of
means
his
and all
heartbreaks
that.
put
Yeah,
into
yeah.
one
It's a,
figment.
it's a very like artistic like. Yeah.
A weird muse of sorts.
But I remember in one of the Felts, the 20 answers, Murs at the end was like, all right, who is Lucy? She's an extra. She's an extra that plays the devil in my movie. She's around uptown sipping a beer smoothie. I don't know if it's smoothie or smoothly. So,
I mean, I'm hoping it's smoothly, but
hey man, you ever leave a beer out in the car overnight and you crack that bitch in the morning? That's a beer slushy, but it's close enough.
It's close enough.
drop some vegetables in that bitch.
Get some vitamins in your system.
I can see Nick doing that too. Making his Vitamix out, makes a smoothie and just dumps a beer into it.
like a Caesar but with beer.
Just biting a head of cabbage and then like chugging a beer.
Or like
It's
when
called
you,
balance.
when you stick a bottle into a watermelon overnight, you know, and it soaks up all the alcohol.
I'm doing that
Nick
with
does
cabbage.
that with like a cabbage and a beer. How Irish are you?
A little bit. I mean, my mama's maiden name is Hires, so that's pretty fucking Irish.
Oh, it's funny.
Let's leave this place.
And I saw Atmosphere and Prof in Seattle one time, and the show was good. The crowd, once again, the crowd wasn't anywhere near the Montana crowd. But I think it's just because we're a little more starved than they are
Yeah.
for live music,
Yeah.
you know. But Prof's performance was awesome, and it was like not early on, but it wasn't a smaller show, and I could tell his demeanor was like a little like held back from like the club scene that we usually like to see him. Like I love seeing Prof in a small
He
club.
killed it like 4 months ago when I saw him.
Really? Man, I haven't seen him for a few years, like 6 or 7 years since he was at Monks or something.
Yeah, I definitely
This
like a more
piano
like,
riff.
of course, like this small bar kind of feel.
Because he can command the crowd
Oh, yeah.
so
But
good.
he did well at the Wilma. Like,
That show was so sick though, because middle of Prof's performance says, "Hey, hometown crowd, who got one of your favorites here?" And he brought out Greaves for 2 tracks. Like, just wasn't part of the tour, you know. I was like, it was such a cool
yeah,
surprise.
the
Like,
first time I ever heard of Prof, he was opening up for Greaves, and it was at the Top Hat. And it was, Chad, you were there for that. It was Greaves, MC Type, and their opener was Prof.
Yeah.
the first time I saw him, it was at the Badlander, I think, and he opened up for Murs, and David Dollar G opened that show. And that was my first experience with that kid. I really liked his 2 albums that he put out.
Yeah.
He was very vibey.
Yeah.
I loved
Well, it was cool to see live. He was he had the same vibe of like he's gonna come kick it and hang out. You know, he was a smaller artist at the time, but like it was a good dude.
And Sherbert.
Yeah,
Sherbert's
Sherbert, dude.
badass.
Sherbert's a weapon.
Yeah, that kid gave me, like, when they were moving away from Montana, moving to Portland, I think, they came by my house and dropped off, like, 50 or 60 records. And he's like, dude, I've sampled all of these, but there's still gems in here. Here you go, dude. And I was so stoked on that.
He's a real one, man.
I was so-
Sherbert was always, and like,
Shout out to Sherbert if you
yeah,
ever
David
listen.
Dollar G was like, he was a little bit more conservative, and Sherbert's like, dude, I'm down to like get the fucking wild tonight. And he like Sherbert was always a fucking like big party when I ever saw him.
Yeah, I like. Where else did we see him? We saw him in Bozeman with Greaves one time in a basement somewhere.
Yeah,
That was
I got in a lot of trouble that night.
what was that
I was
place?
supposed to stay with you, but I ended up sleeping in a hallway downtown Bozeman.
Was that that show? I remember I'm walking around and I finally find you, and it was like you just start walking off, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm done, dude."
Bye, dumbass.
We're actually not staying in Bozeman. We're in Belgrade, like 30 miles away. So
Yeah.
deal with that.
No, and I did. It sucked. I woke up at like 6 in the morning and like in a fucking hallway of some downtown thing, and I was like, "What is happening here?" I was like, "Damn it!"
I did it again. Holy fuck!
I did too, and you guys have all been there. Well, you were there in Vegas, like, I'm not doing this.
The train station.
Yeah, and then the train station. Jesus, this is why I don't
Chad's
drink.
gone fucking AWOL.
Just leave him alone. He'll learn it.
Yeah, he's got to learn the lesson. He's got to.
But no, that was who else played down there? That was
Brother Ali, I think.
yeah, Brother Ali. That was a really cool venue.
I'm
Like
trying to
down
think
the
of the name, but I
basement.
can't.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about the fact that Brother Ali was there, that was a different show that I'm thinking about, because I saw Greaves and David Dollar G again a different time, I think.
In Bozeman.
Yeah, and it was
Without-
too small of a basement for Brother Ali to show up to. I remember that show. It wasn't a basement. It was a brick building that felt like a basement.
That might have been it.
It was. I remember because
Again,
I remember a lot better than you did.
I just remember the morning of, and I was like, "You're an idiot."
Those mornings. I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah, you looked at me. No. Yeah, you fucking did.
What do you mean freak?
What do you mean?
You look at me like a fucking freak. No, I didn't look at you. Yeah, you did.
You know
What
what
do you
that
mean
reminds me of? If you were going to put that into one person we actually know, that was Alex.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean freak? Fuck you.
Took me a second, but now
Love you, Alex.
Right.
MF Red.
What was that one? We got kicked out of a Brother Arlie concert in Missoula one time.
That was, I forget what show that was, but
Was that the one
yeah.
you got in a fight in the alleyway?
I
and,
remember the
breeze
story.
was falling,
I
It was
was
like camcorder or some shit.
Yeah, that was the outside the Wilma that night.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah,
That's when I was dating that Bray Lynn chick, and like we got to your house, and like you already passed out, and I was like, "Where'd you go?" He's like, "I got kicked out and got in a fight."
fucking Grease is following at the camera.
That the show though that I think you're thinking of is You Just Moved to Missoula. Me, Justin Westermeyer, Amanda, and someone else started to drive up, and him and I killed a bottle of JD. And then they weren't playing music, and I was so mad about it that I was like, I'm a DJ. Let me up there. And I tried to get on stage, and I was like, no, I'm a DJ.
I know what I'm doing.
There, Holly. Get the hell out. And they wouldn't let me back in, so Simone's all like, here, Chad, put on my coat. They won't notice you. And I'm all like squeezing into this little pink jacket.
Some fucking
And I'm
Scooby-Doo
like,
situation.
hi. And they're like,
I'm a man.
what are you doing? It's like, I want to come in. And they're like, no, you're kicked out. And I was like, what? Why? And they're like, you're an idiot, dude.
Funny thing is, I did that at a strip club too. Tried to switch shirts right outside the front door while they're watching us on cameras. They'll never. I was the one
Dude,
kicked out.
I have to say, out of all the times I've been kicked out of anywhere, it's probably mostly been with you guys.
Oh yeah, you're
You
welcome.
three.
You're welcome.
Chick gets a little crazy.
Throw in Mike, and then that's all of them probably.
Memorable fucking nights. I gotta say that.
It's just together we have too much fun.
Yeah. People get jealous and can't handle how much fun we have. You can't imagine how much fun we're having.
Right.
Right.
And then you're trying to show them with
Exactly.
your fists. Look how much fun!
Oh, fuck.
I think it was that same night. I was trying to run up the stairs, and a bouncer grabbed me by the neck. I was like, "No!" He dragged me down the stairs and started fucking rear naked choking me. I was like, "No!" Yeah, and we all met at the Iron Horse after that. Remember we went to that?
No, I don't.
Nope.
Again, I woke up on your floor like, what in the hell has happened here?
Man, do you remember the fucking fire hydrant madness night?
Oh, yeah, Mac's house when I
What
opened
show was that?
I don't know what show it was because
Dude,
I
I
just
have
remember,
ancient pictures of that night.
just like you guys locked me out of Mac's house, so I busted in finally through the door with the fire hydrant and just sprayed everyone
And
with it.
then Mac chases you out with it. And that's when I'm showing up, and I just see a cloud coming out the door at an apartment building with like 100 apartments. It wasn't like your house. It was just some apartment building. We had fucking 30 people there,
Yeah.
whatever time in the morning.
Yeah, he was so upset with me.
Imagine.
Respectfully so.
What?
Y'all posted a video of you guys fucking with Mike passed out the next day. You guys are, that was a good fucking night. I remember looking at you, I was like, why is he white? You're like, been sprayed with a fucking fire thing.
So really, like, in my mind, fire hydrants was like
Extinguisher.
it was almost like a foam, kind of, or something. I
No,
don't
there
know.
is
it's like an
there is
aerosol.
that type. No, there's
Yeah.
different types.
Oh, yeah.
There's one that's like water based, I think. One that's like a foam for a different situation, and then there's one that's a powder.
It's
Yeah.
a
It's a
dispersing
powder.
agent
The
that
powder
covers
is the household
everything you
one.
spray.
Yeah, and this was the powder one. It's like little granules of
Oh,
salt almost.
It's just like
And it was-
baking soda
yeah.
blasting out of the thing. or something.
Yeah, sand, white sand. And that's what Mac's apartment looked like. Is someone just went in there and tried to do a beach
I
party.
imagine the outside of the door. I imagine the outside of the door just had a ring.
What's funny is Mac still to this day on his keychain has the pin for that thing.
Oh, good times, guys. Good times.
Epic fucking party.
So wild. But again, like, not my finest moment in life. It was like, and I forget who was outside with me. I think it was like JJ or someone, and like, Chad, don't do it. And I was like, no, it'll be funny. No one will notice.
No, it'll be fun.
Nobody will know.
And then I did it, and everyone was just like, I remember Mac spent all day trying to cook some like amazing food, and JJ got like, or no, not JJ, someone else got the first bowl of it and put it in the microwave, just to like, for whatever reason, because it cooled down, and all of it got destroyed, but that one bowl.
We were the best asshole friends you'd ever imagine.
I remember Matt, I was drinking with Mac shortly before that, and he passed out on the floor, and I was like, I gotta wake him up. And he had this like extract, this like ghost pepper extract, and I was like, I'll just put it in his mouth, that'll wake him up. Like, dumped all, he opened his mouth and dumped it all in his mouth, and I was like, watch this, Simone, like, and he got up and just was like freaking, he's blitz drunk. Sorry, Mac. You probably don't remember this.
Well, we do.
Oh, he remembers.
Yeah, he stuck his head under the sink and was just like, oh, like for like 20 minutes.
Get a pillow.
I was like, lawyer up.
Oh, man.
Lawyer up, son.
We need to get more beer. Can we use your car?
Order your car now. Oh, boy. Toucan Mac. What up, Toucan?
That's too much.
Hilarious.
You knew that's what this podcast was going to devolve to,
Right?
Just memories and giggles, man. I'm all about that life. Oh, also, did you...
Oh, no, I saw that one.
God damn it. Fucking meme wars. God damn
The
it.
meme war in 2020, man, will go down in
All
history.
right, well, if I'm back for a second one, I'll bring a fucking poster board with me. I have a lot of pictures. Oh, man.
It's good stuff. It really is.
So many memories.
Cheers to
So
that,
many
you
fucking
guys.
memories, you guys.
You know, I watched Chad fall off a roof one time.
Saw Chad kick his shoe off the side of fucking Lawrence Park. No, it wasn't Lawrence Park, was it?
Lone Pine.
Lone Pine.
Lone
yeah.
Pine.
Admittedly, I fell on the roof.
Oh, when I fell through the roof, that was with Mac.
Yeah, that was at the Travel Lodge when my wife, before she was my wife, worked there.
Yeah.
She was like, two guys fucking were jumping around the roof on the hotel, and one of them fell through and lost his shoe. And then the next day, I hear from Chad and Mac, dude, running around on the Travel Lodge roof, Mac fucking fell through, and was like, yeah, my wife told me about that. I probably shouldn't let her know about that right now.
What sucked is those were brand new shoes, and I lost both of them.
And that's why you tie your shoes.
Damn.
Speaking of on the roof, I found a fucking picture of all of us on 7th Street.
Oh, yeah.
Like me, Sammy, all you guys were on the roof. Remember we climbed
Yeah.
up and took that picture?
Yeah.
I still got it. Fucking epic. It'd be like 15, 16 years ago or something.
Oh. At least, I feel like.
Yeah.
Man, me and Gabe were just talking about the old punk rock parties and everything. Like punk rock's birthday when we filled the bathtub full of PBRs. Chad's going away party where we had Mr. Wayne hit a pipe and he didn't know how to fucking do it.
Oh, I was there for that. That was my pipe.
Yeah.
I
Wayne,
remember that was just like, fuck it, I don't work for the guy anymore.
Yeah, he's just roasting it, not holding the carb, just like burning the wheel. Like, hey, Wayne, there's a carburetor, bro. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This isn't a fucking car.
It's a double barrel carb.
Fucking Wayne. Such a funny guy. Went and did some work for him once, and it was actually Nick and I. We scraped the wall, like with the piece of rock we were putting in. He's like, we can put a man on the moon, but you fucking Three Stooges can't put a rock between 3 walls without destroying it.
And you know, no, Wayne was like eagle hawking us, just waiting for us to do something wrong, just so he could talk shit.
Yeah.
And after he talked shit, he was like, usually if someone would do that, Wayne'd be pissed off, but like he was happy about it.
Yeah, no, it was funny. Put a man on the moon, but you 3 idiots can't put a
Did we
rock.
all work at Proclaim too?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if Gabe ever.
I never worked at Proclaim.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
But that,
You probably needed a job though.
Gabe was getting
That's
drunk
why-
and beating up children at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. I was trying to fight cops and
trying to fight cops. It was
going into parties of whole people and fighting all of them at once.
Doing dick push-ups, you know, just the old
Fucking
school Gabe thing.
living the
only need
dream
one.
back in the. You only live once. I can always look back and say that I fought a lot of fucking stupid fights.
I'll always look back and realize that, holy shit, I pulled you guys off a lot of people.
Dude,
Or pulled other.
These guys, not me.
Hey, I've been there for a couple of your nights too, buddy.
We didn't pull me off anyone.
you got tasered by like 3 cops one night. True.
All right, that was their fault, all right?
That was their fault.
it was their fault that I was high on mushrooms.
I was not bothering anyone. I was just tripping balls running around town.
That was their fault.
Hey,
We've
yo,
all
shout
been
out
there.
Officer Thompson. How's that eye feel today?
Blasted him in the
Sack of
face.
shit.
Hilarious.
Oh man.
God.
I can talk about this because they use unnecessary force, which I'm not supposed to talk about.
I remember a night that we had a party at someone's house that wasn't supposed to, that wasn't there, I think.
Was
And
that the Logan Nickel thing?
No,
that was
that was down on the basement.
Brad.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Why am I saying full names? I apologize.
yeah.
That was the Brad night. Yeah, we square up. He got the best of me, but
No,
just the party
That-
itself.
Nobody squared up.
Oh.
There was
Okay,
me and
okay.
you standing in the middle of the road.
Oh, and that was
and then
at,
like
the
15
downstairs
of
place.
his friends. And it was
We're
like,
like, what?
all right. And Nick walked up and caught one. And then the kid ducked out behind the crowd of people. And it was like, let's get the fuck out of here, Nick. And then we went and
No, that's where
did
Sammy
Brody's in
was-
his fucking yard.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Oh
I
yeah,
don't think I
no.
was there for that one.
I was like, no, I got one.
No,
bro.
it
I
was
got
just-
one.
it
We will get him.
It was just me and him, and then Brad and like a whole posse
Fucking
of
like
people.
cars full of people.
And they're all pulling up and they're like, me to Cory, like, damn, this might not be a good idea.
This might not be good.
I do remember that you were house watching someone's basement.
No, that was
apartment.
Sammy.
Oh, Sammy.
It was that Mexican dude.
Yeah, and then he just like threw parties there.
Yeah.
He was just like, "Are you sure this is a
and then-
good idea?" And
And
he's
then
like,
that dude,
"No, it's all
I
good."
remember the
Just
next
like-
And he came
That-
to your house to fight Sammy.
Yeah.
No, and I remember that because Mike had just got back from boot camp, and you squared off with Homeboy, which
No, he wanted to square off with Sammy.
no,
and
he
Sammy,
wanted to. I remember,
And Sammy's like, no, just hit me. And I told the dude, I was like, yo, if you hit Sammy, I'm gonna fucking hit you.
and I was holding Mike back half the block away because I made you guys go down to the intersection. I was like, "You're not fighting right
And
here.
then
Go to the
Sean
intersection."
came running out of nowhere to help out the dude. Oh yeah.
And then that's when Mike got all crazy, and I was like, "Mike."
Mike crazy?
Mike
No.
hit the
Well, no. I wouldn't let him.
Hilarious.
I remember that night. I was like, Mike, you fucking can't, dude. You can't come back from boot camp and get arrested right now. So him and I ducked out the back door after the fight happened. And I remember we're walking out the alley and 2 cops roll up. They're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" We're like, "Fucking walking down the road, asshole." And I had weed
Being
in
white in the
my
alleyway.
pocket.
Pass.
And they drove off, and I pitched it in the bush, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
The one time Mike used his conscience, he's like, "This might not be the greatest idea."
Yeah.
I remember
Take that back. Mike's actually a very smart guy, but
that basement that Sammy was babysitting, that he got in all that trouble shit. That's where I first met Simone.
Was
no
it?
shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Mike and I were going to get beer at the Meridian gas station. We pulled out of there, and there was all these girls walking towards the party or whatever. Mike's like, "Watch this." He like swerved. We're on ice, and he like slid, and he almost hit him, and I was like, you almost hit the bitch, Mike. And, like, we came back, and
They come walking in all soaking wet.
they were already there, and we walked in, and I was like, like, so I was like, that was him, sorry, I almost killed you, we were drunk.
And then he called you a bitch like 3 times.
You almost hit the bitch. Like, so.
And now
We're coming out with a lot of stories about other podcast guests right now. Sorry, guys.
ruined it for you all.
Yeah.
Make sure mine comes after theirs.
Oh, so funny. Goddamn. Yeah, that's going back. That's fucking going. That was forever ago. So
Do
much
you
fun.
guys remember sending Atmosphere the 3 questions thing? Like, I forget. You guys told me this story. Like, you guys sent an email or a letter, like, because they like asked for, like, I can't fucking remember, but it was like, what 3 weapons would you use at the end of the world or something? This is like before you had the fucking record player even over at on the west side.
A knife, Everclear, and fentanyl. Next question.
I can't remember. Oh man, maybe they were just asking for like fan questions, and you asked them, if the world were ending, what 3 weapons would you choose and why? I remember you guys telling me this story, and
It's a good question.
hey, that's the truth. What 3 weapons, Chad?
that I would use, man, I don't know. That's a hard one. Probably something to do with light, sound, and something to control your.
You a fucking
Air.
wizard?
Yeah.
So you want Gandalf's staff?
No, just like I'd want really blinding lights, just to like so you couldn't see some like the biggest subs you could ever hear, just so you couldn't hear. And then that's pretty much game
That's
over.
it. I'm done. I don't even need a 3rd weapon. Actually,
then it's my
I'll just
fists.
come fuck you up with my fists while you're
Number
blinded.
1, Popeye biscuits. Number 2, I'm sticking with fentanyl because that thing is fucking dangerous as hell. And
Fentanyl
number 3, an album by Sugar Ray.
Oh yeah. No. It's you scatter guns in a crowd and play Sugar Ray, and they'll just take themselves out.
I don't know why, man, but I hate Sugar Ray with a fucking passion, man. That shit comes on. I want to.
If you like music, you should probably hate Sugar Ray.
Like I'd rather like listen to like fucking show tunes and elevator music for the rest of my life.
No, straight up. If you
So-
like pina coladas,
Is there a music that you just like absolutely like a music genre that you cannot just stand the sound of?
it has to be radio country.
Radio
That's a
country.
good
Like
one.
I really like
Outlaw
a lot
country.
of country,
Outlaw
and like
country,
a lot of the
too.
newer stuff too. That's half of what I've been listening to. Oddly, Dead South and all that kind of
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I love half their music, and it's like
Culture
it's
War.
kind of like when hip hop hit me when we were teenagers. It's doing the same thing to me now, because it's just like a fucking older dude's music.
Yeah,
you know, not
for
old,
sure.
but you know,
No,
we're not
I get
15
it.
anymore.
Yeah, you're not listening to Mobb Deep.
Pretty much, or you know, like some 3-6 Mafia, like sipping on some fucking scissors.
Sipping on some scissor.
Juicy J in the fucking house, man.
Sipping on some scissor.
All right, I got to rock piss.
All right.
So speaking of Sugar Ray, I've been practicing the Sugar Ray song just to fucking annoy the fuck out of you.
You're an idiot.
I'm gonna do
I
it.
feel bad for all the time that you wasted on that fucking
Yeah,
garbage.
well, there's gonna be a night when there's a guitar jack and a guitar
Spartan
around.
kick you and your guitar, man. Like straight up, I apologize beforehand.
You really hate Sugar Ray, don't you?
I don't know why, man. It just agitates me, man.
I should find a Sugar Ray album and just
Put it in there.
find someone that just like absolutely loves them.
Yo, I'll bet you a 20 spot I don't make it through the whole podcast.
I'm not listening to this shit.
Sugar Ray shit.
I don't know, man. It's just like It's like grown-up Hanson Brothers music.
Grown up Hanson.
Like,
Oh
I
my God.
fucking hate it.
Hanson was fucking terrible. Oh my God.
What was their one?
The Bop.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh,
Back
of
in,
course,
like,
Gabe knows.
Fuck you. I'm a 90s kid. I remember all that shit.
Gabe was
Remember the
like,
Macarena?
Yeah, the Macarena.
Mambo number 5.
Mambo number 5? Actually, like,
That's not a bad one.
not bad. Not bad. I mean, it still sucks, but it's not bad.
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba,
And
yeah.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. I had no idea, like, growing up what that song was about until I got to that age, and I was like, it's all about just drinking.
Getting drunk as fuck.
Yeah, it's such a...
I tried to book Chumbawamba, but they canceled last minute. But you know me, I get knocked down, I get back up again.
So many of those old fucking songs, man. All still on my fucking playlist. Hip hop and 90s music.
Yeah.
Is anybody else smoking?
Oh, I'll smoke, man. I mean, I only have to go to work at a bowling alley, so that would help.
Work at a bowling alley.
Let's go bowling.
Fucking Big Lebowski over here.
That's just like your opinion, man.
just like your opinion.
So you got any weed?
No, the best part about working at bowling alleys is I get to yell, "Hey, dipshit!" to like underage kids and like get away with it.
It's pretty
Love
cool.
it. like I'm the warden, dude.
Which is crazy. Like, we went and got to go see, like, the back of a bowling alley, and the mechanics in there is insane. That
Dude,
was
it's a piece of art, man. Like it's from like those machines are from either the very those machines are late 40s, like early mid 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Interesting, though.
Yeah.
You know? A lot of moving parts, a lot of fucking spinning wheels and shit.
They were like some of like the frontier ones after like Pinboys.
No shit.
I think I heard bowling alleys, because of all the moving parts, are like one of the worst investments you can make.
Oh, that and well, it all depends. Like if you're talking about like
Kinda
old
makes
bowling
sense.
alleys, like
Because what do you
they're
pay,
cheap.
like $9 to go bowling? It's not that expensive. It's
Games,
more than that. I mean,
that's 2 games and a shoe rental at Glacier Lanes found in Columbia Falls. Hey.
say what?
I'll let your boy.
I'll let your boy. I get you $1 off.
Get your dollar
I'll let you pick your own shoes.
Bring your own ball, though. What the hell is this? Apparently, you're not a golfer.
Fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling.
I have to say, like, on most of his albums, like, it's some parts of my life I can always relate to. And this one, like, struck, like, a few times in my life differently. But getting back on the music topic.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, what that last line really caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. Paying attention.
What was it?
It was a girl named Hope.
Okay. Man.
No, this just brings back, especially like this was really like popular and like a big intrusive part of our like growing up when we were all like really connected. Like I know this album was a good one. I know we really started flourishing with after this with When Life Gives You Lemons.
Yeah, I
But,
mean,
like I know that this
that's
album
my
right here is a
beginning.
foundation of like our whole like family.
yeah. I mean, this album, not this album, but like legit songs like this one, or like the ones we would pick off the album, make Atmosphere mixes, and it was from like this era of Atmosphere. And Life Gives You Lemons is just like, that's kind of my starting point with it, because that was the first show I saw with you guys, basically, you know, in the hip hop world. Like, It was such a huge show too. The whole live band experience was so lucky to get introduced that
Your
way.
parents all went to that too.
Oh,
That was always really cool to see your parents there.
They've gone and seen Atmosphere and Tech and multiple other metal bands. Like they go to so many shows without us now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's my goal as like when I get older. Like fuck all y'all. I'm gonna dip out for a couple of days, go see a show.
Yep.
It's crazy how many people in our friend group, like, these albums are so influential to, like, I'll see people post, well, I don't, when I was on fucking social media, I'd see people post shit and be like, yeah, like.
That's the only part of social media I really miss
I
is
thought you said this was indo. No, like outdo.
shit.
Yeah. And it seems like it's only with our friend group because I got people my age that are on my crew that are from different parts of the country and they're like, they've never even heard of Atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I think it is
Like,
a
you need to
regional
hear
thing.
this. You know, like.
I think it's easier for Atmosphere to speak to rural fucking white dudes that aren't rednecks, basically. Like,
Right.
Minnesota's above that level of, like, not Minnesota, but Minneapolis is above that level. Like, that's a legit city.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Like, so
It's
they
like
speak
if
there.
Kalispell and like Whitefish and everything merged into one and became like a big city. It's got a little bit of everything.
Twin Cities, yeah. But
The weird thing is this guy that I showed it to is from fucking Michigan. I'm like, you should have heard of it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Never fucking heard of it.
Huh.
So weird.
Fucking nerd.
That's what I said. Fucking.
Well, dude, I grew up on like metal, and from California, and got here. Never listened to a hip hop song in my life except for a couple of random albums we had, like literally like a Rehab album, a Potluck album, some Cottonmouth Kings. That was like all the hip hop I had ever heard.
CeeLo. You're the one that showed me
CeeLo.
CeeLo.
That's gangster rap, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I thought you were
That's
trying
because I lived in South Sacramento, and that
Yeah.
Sibo and Brother Lynch were the
Yeah.
fucking kids.
916.
Yeah.
Fuck you talking about?
Fuck that place. Oh man, I can't tell you how happy I am to not be there and have a reason to go back anymore.
Yeah.
All my family is gone now. It's fucking crazy. It's great.
Sexy little bitch, shorter than expected.
So this song has a line that I put in my vows to my
Yep.
wife.
I remember that. I performed at that.
I love this fucking
Dude,
song.
no, that
Coming
was,
up right here.
Yep.
Said I'll make you smile for the simple fact I'm good at it. I'll make you smile just so I can sit and look at it. Pregnant. Right then and there. Like,
We have 35 kids. We're 33 years old.
overtime, bitch.
One of my
No, this is-
all-time
no.
favorites.
Yeah. This
You
song.
can't listen to
if
this
you,
song and not have a
Like
smile.
summertime, drop the windows,
Yeah.
put this on blast, and just cruise.
Flip off old people. Like, we all about that life. I don't know. Who cares what Jane says?
Like, this song makes me want to work.
That's a little different than me. This is like when you get off work and then, like you have like a lukewarm beer in your fucking vehicle and you're leaving work and you crack the window, crack that beer. This is
See,
that
I
song.
get that from the beat, but the lyrics make me think like it's just
back to
life.
work.
It's just life. Get back to work. It's just life.
I feel you on
You
that.
know, the modern man's hustle. Like, what we're all doing, man. We're all
Yeah.
doing something. You gotta fucking put food on the table and keep gas in the car.
Yeah.
That's what
Rob
it
and
is.
Steele.
Man.
And Chad knows this because sometimes I'm not the best person to be standing next to it at Atmosphere show because I will just be yelling every
lyric.
goddamn word. And Chad's is always just like, yo, cut it off. And I'm like, well, fuck you, man. Like, I'm sorry you're not enjoying this. I am.
Who are you here to see? Nick or the performer?
I've literally been at
The
shows
performer.
where
Then
I'm,
shut the
yeah.
fuck up, Nick.
Well, I'm a part of the situation. That's the only thing I
I'm
care
with the
about.
band.
With the man.
And
I'm with the band.
There's literally been shows where I'm just like yelling this shit and like Like Slug.
The artist just stops.
Slug just looks over. He's like, "These are my songs."
Hey.
Hey man, like you're part of my life, brother. Like it's the only way I know how to show appreciation.
Fucking A.
The last show was the one with Cypress Hill, and I went with.
How was that, man?
Beautiful.
I bet.
It was a little weird because Cypress Hill, like the
They didn't know
sun
how
was
to perform in Montana?
with that, but like I felt like Cypress Hill should have performed when it was dark, and like it was like middle of the
Oh,
day.
Atmosphere headlined it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say I don't want to see Atmosphere headline, but I would want to see Cypress Hill headline.
I wish they would just like push the show so both like it was just weird seeing Cypress Hill and like
Because summertime
smoking
here,
weed
light
and like it
tones.
was too light.
Yeah.
It was too light out for that that kind of feel.
I saw
for me.
Slayer during the daytime one time, and I was like,
It's not fitting.
man, this just, I love fucking thrash metal, but this is just not the right setting, man.
Yeah. It needs to be dark.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be dark, and I'm supposed to imagine evil.
I don't want to see the people next to me. I want to know there are people next to me, but I don't want to see them.
I only want to know that by the heat.
There's like a family of 4 next to me, and I'm trying to fucking rage.
I'm trying to slam this bottle.
Trying to fucking go fucking do some toot scoot magoots in the fucking bathroom stall. Like,
Yeah, I think Modern Man's Hustle is definitely my favorite song on the album.
Yeah.
it's a hard
great
one, but
fucking
that's definitely
song.
up there.
The
But
whole
they all-
sample, everything is just.
They all, it's just the whole album. This one and Seven's Travels, I feel like, have the same feel to them, where it's like the whole album is just this like emotional aggression a little bit. Like I'm
Yeah.
just fucking letting it out. I'm gonna say whatever now. You know, it's not like that aggressive, but for Slug, I feel like it is.
For sure.
Modern Man's up there. If I had to pick one, I'd probably have to say God Loves Ugly.
Yeah, it's also hard to beat.
But I remember back in the day, I used to be able to spit like word for word almost every song on this album.
That doesn't surprise me, Nick. You and Alex are the two that I can imagine know more lyrics by every artist in the world.
Bro, I think Alex got me by far, bro. Like, I remember when I first met your cousin, like, I didn't even know who he was. He was just that dude walking down fucking Idaho past Proclaim.
Well, and then a third of the people would be like, is that guy crazy? It's like, no, he's rapping. He's going off.
No, yeah, like, he walked past Scoreboard back in the day, and, like, some people were like, oh, like trying to make fun of him. Like, hey, fuck you, man. Like, if you actually listen to the fuck that dude's saying when he's just nonchalantly fucking walking down the road,
Yeah,
blow
he's
your
not
mind.
screaming at the government to the sky.
Right.
He's looking down the street rapping, and he's performing right now, basically.
Yeah.
I love Alex because he's ready to perform. You know, like
Yeah, on lock, ready, yeah, cock back.
Which his album dropped.
Yeah, him and Il Sato's one, which I do apologize. I've only gotten a few songs in. I've been a piece of shit lately, but you guys should check that out recently. Il Sato, MF Red's new album.
I have a few albums stacked up that I need to check out. I have listened to it and I love it. But
It's hard for me to get up my playlist, man. I have like a 600-700 song playlist. And I just like randomly like, right here, I'm gonna listen to that. And just, it's different like modes and feels.
Mine's so eclectic, man. Like it changes every day.
It's
I'm
the
listening
same.
to Sublime. Today I'm listening to Classified. Today I'm listening
Yeah,
to this.
Dude,
last week when we
country
didn't have a podcast,
to
9
metal
leads.
to gangster
Yeah,
rap.
exactly.
Like, all
You like
through
that?
I
recently.
fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you should check out, Chad just showed us last week, 9 Leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire.
Fucking awesome.
What's the lowdown?
It's just like, just some like fucking boom bap, groovy underground hip hop, man. Like, that's all you need to know. Like, it'll take you back to like,
This should write that down. I need to.
We need more of that in our lives, really. Like I miss that. Good fucking boom bap hip hop. You can't really find it nowadays, you know.
especially like, we all
So
work too
rare.
much, we're all too stressed. Like, just like alleviate your fucking self from everything.
Well, and I
And
think that's
just
something that
nod
every
your head a little
person,
bit.
every person learns eventually, depending on when you hit that point in your life. Time is the fucking most precious thing, man.
Yeah.
And just like you talking about, like, oh, I told this guy I'd do this job for him, and he hit me up months later, and I was like, fuck, I have a whole different life from 3 months ago now.
Yeah.
Same shit happens to me with electrical shit. People are like, oh, you remember when you did this side job for me last year? Can you come back and do all the other stuff I talked about then? And I'm like, no. Who is this? I'm sorry, but I don't remember you at this point.
Yeah.
It's just life right now, man. Like we're all trying to set up our lives right now to have some sort of retirement, or it's hard to live in the Flathead Valley.
It really
You
is.
gotta work hard to stay here, but you also have to play hard to make it worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you gotta fucking
That's
work
facts
hard
right
in
there.
your 20s, 30s, 40s. We're gonna be working fucking hard. So, we're lucky. We can walk. We're in like one of the more crowded places in town right now.
Micropolitan.
We could
number
walk.
one.
We could walk half a block and see a mountain from some angle.
Yeah.
Like we live in a beautiful place, so it's worth it. But that's what this time is. That's why we don't have time to be finding new artists for
Yeah.
3 hours a day on YouTube like we did when we were 16 to 25. Oh, I spent 3 hours on YouTube yesterday listening to music I've never heard of.
Oh, I still
I
do
haven't
that
done
every day.
that, dude. I haven't done that in years.
Walking around, man. Like I always like try to get at least an hour walking every night now. And I go to the end of my playlist, or like I pick a song on my playlist and do relative artists, and then I skim a lot, but I still find some jewels.
Fuck, I'm lazy as shit with music right now. It's a
Well, you guys got families and shit, man. I'm fucking single and looking to not mingle, man. Get the fuck out of my fucking personal space.
You're not trying to sit on my lap, Nick?
Fuck no, dude. Like, I don't belong to the streets. I belong to the alleyways, bro. I'm in that bowling alley, dog.
Walking through the alleys all night.
I don't give a fuck, man. My favorite times when I'm by myself walking in the dark listening to music.
Well, and see, that's what hunting is for me. Like,
I'm hunting for that new track, bro.
a quarter of the hunting I've done is by myself, and then half of it's with Gabe, and the other quarter is with, someone else in my family or something. But I love hunting by myself, dude. Being in the woods,
Seclusion,
there's
bro.
a bunch of fucking things. It's like hunting changes when you're alone. Like, you're 2 miles deep alone.
More just like animalistic.
It is, because when you're with someone, it's like, you're being loud enough. You guys are talking every once in a while.
Especially
You
if it's
got
like you and Gabe, like finger popping each other's assholes.
finger
giggling
popping
the
each
whole
other's
time.
assholes. No, I got big fingers. Gabe can't handle it. No.
God damn it. You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers.
Good job, Gabe. I love how like you like slammed his beer down on a coaster, so like it didn't really make too much of a sound.
You gotta use the coasters.
Use the coasters. Carry on, carry on.
Yeah, I think we lost that hunting subject with your. I'm just kidding. No. Being alone, though, like you were saying, I love hunting alone for that reason, because when you are alone, like, it's way more being in the wild. Like, every fucking bird that makes a noise, you're like, what the fuck? Dude.
Last year when we saw that fucking bear shit, like right out of the gate.
Oh, dude.
That was gnarly.
Bigger than my boot. I mean, like, legitimately 30 yards from the gate. Not even that, 30 feet from the gate we parked at. We walk in 30 feet. It was like, that is some of the freshest bear shit I've ever seen.
Damn.
And it was like, it's super gross. And like, comparatively to like the normal like shit, which means it's from a fresh kill.
Yeah.
So it's like you can.
Not completely disposed, just ran
It's
through
organs.
the animal.
They eat their organs.
Yeah, it ran through the animal.
Gabe and I went on a hike up Columbia Mountain, and on the way down, some guy like came up with a gun. He's like, "There, I just saw a bear, and I saw you guys' truck down there, making sure that you guys are okay."
This beat, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I wish it
Shrapnel.
was a whole.
Have you ever seen this live?
Yes.
This changed my mind.
This was that life because you
completely.
lemons.
100%. I didn't like.
Yeah,
ahead, Chad.
well, I was about to say the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
this song I always passed on because I was just like, yeah, it's not really my thing until I saw it live.
Dude, yeah.
And then it just like blew my mind to where I was
Because
just
he
like,
had that
whoa.
backup singer, that
Yeah,
African
it was
American
that
chick,
tour.
Yeah.
and she was just screaming and belting, and like it was the most beautiful thing
Well,
I've ever
I remember
seen.
that chick. She looked like she was like 5'3".
Oh yeah, like little Black Panther's like security guard chick. That's what it was.
She was wearing like a leather fucking. I do remember this too for sure, because they spotlighted her for the whole song. I think.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. That chick is
Very, very memorable.
Montine, my wife, has a story about the drummer from the band of Atmosphere when they had a band. The short time.
Afro Keys
Yeah,
was
no,
the
I'm
old
just-
keyboarder.
I couldn't tell you who it was.
I know. I'm
The
just
guitars.
like, I was looking
His
through
name
this
was
story.
Nick something. I don't remember the drummer.
Well, she lived in Minneapolis for a while.
Yeah.
Like, she went to school in Bozeman, then went to Minneapolis, and man, apparently the street she lived on. See, I don't know city life where it snows. I've lived in a city, but it didn't snow. I've lived here, Montana, but it snows a lot, and it's not the same as in a city.
it's not
Well, when they plow, it's like it's set up like times. Like, don't park on the fucking road if you're not trying to be plowed in on a snow day. You better get your shit moved, or else your car's gonna be under 6 feet of snow, because that's where we're plowing. Well, her car got like plowed in or like close to or something, and she was stuck. And that might be completely wrong, is the truth, but she was stuck in the snow on the side of the road. But she's trying to get her car out, and some dude just comes out and just like, oh, I'll help you move your fucking car. Starts pushing, get it rocking back and forth in the snow and get it out. Well, she gets out, and this is probably the same car that she drove when I met her. Shit Dodge Neon that I exploded the window in one time. That's another story. But
Pass that over.
she's talking to him just over getting the car unstuck, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm the drummer of a band, and whatever. He's like, yeah, band that plays for Atmosphere right now. So like, just like the drummer for, and so she saw Atmosphere before I met her, and I had seen Atmosphere the one time at the Life Gives You Lemon tour without her, and I think it might have been the same tour, or she saw him like a year earlier or something like that. But that's like our musical, that's our musical tie is Atmosphere, which is really cool because that's what we all started with too, like at the same time a little bit. But that's why I had to go with Atmosphere, I think.
For sure. That and just Atmosphere overall is like,
Atmosphere over anything. I said it once. I'll say it again.
So where do you
grow up.
put Gangstar? Because like I was saying, mixed with like the difference in rap and hip hop is like something to say and something to choose. I feel like
I have different categories. So like, honestly, in my mind, I know that Atmosphere is not the best rap I've ever heard, but Atmosphere will always be number one for me for what it's done for me.
right.
It's just like,
It's relatable as fuck.
yeah, like shout out to Walking over Running. But Gangstar, man, it's up there, man. Like that's on the same like I call it deserted island playlist. If you're just on an island, you have like maybe like
10 albums to pick.
well like one CD, like 80 megabytes. Like we're talking like between like 12 to 16 tracks.
In the Clouds is definitely on my shit.
I don't know if I could do it.
Moment of Truth is one of my.
Moment of Truth would definitely be on my island playlist.
Yeah.
In the
Definitely.
Clouds was like one of the first 20
Up in the
songs
Clouds,
I ever
yeah.
heard that was like a hip hop song that I liked.
Out on the porch.
Out on the porch, people under the
Yeah,
stairs.
some Massive Raindrops, that might be in there too. Some Nice and Smooth.
Nice. Yeah, I got it on my fucking playlist right now, man.
Every time
Wait.
I hear that, I think of Gay Barber.
Life Gives You Lemons tour? Wasn't Abstract Rooted on that tour?
Probably.
That was the one with the Abstract Root, I'm pretty sure.
What's that? All
And then
Day?
they
All
freestyled
Day by
at
Abstract
the
Root?
end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was, what's the fucking song that they freestyled to?
All Day?
No. It's an Atmosphere song. Goes crazy.
Smart Went Crazy.
Smart Went Crazy.
Yeah,
They
Smart Went-
freestyled Smart Went Crazy for like 15 minutes.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
probably like 6, but it seemed
Yeah.
like for
Smart went crazy. The
Ever.
truth went trendy. The story got lazy, so I rewrote the
and they
ending.
just
Yeah.
rolled it and rolled it and rolled it. And Abstract Rude and Slug and I can't remember who else was there.
Also, next weekend, you guys should come to the bowling alley. I paid like 20 some bucks for it. It's coming from Sweden. It
He's
should be
breaking the bank.
the best of Scribble Jams on VHS.
Oh shit.
Fuck yeah.
So you guys gotta come to the bowling alley next week and we'll watch that shit.
All right. And you also got Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, 48 goddamn episodes, Buster. For
Yes.
$18
Yes.
on VHS, you fucking piece of shit.
Playing on fucking loop, man.
We were of the generation, like I was one of the fucking kids that was
Yes.
severely influenced by that.
Butthead
generation.
calls 911 like, 911, what's your emergency? I got a crack in my butt.
This has been too much fun, you guys.
Oh, hey.
It has.
Hey, once again, hey, Cory,
Thank
thank you for coming out, man. Like,
you.
every time we see you, it's just a nostalgic blast from the past.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
last time I saw you, you were shithoused at the Columbia after your company party.
I saw you that night.
Yeah, you were fucking like two
Oh.
sheets to the wind.
That was the last time I blacked out.
Yeah.
That was the
No.
last time.
No, like
Shout out
no.
Creston Electric.
Yeah, no, we had a great time on there. It was beautiful. But I just went for like one shot. It was like 1 a.m. I left the bowling alley. He was like, "Hi, next year, let's go. We're doing this shit now."
We were at Three Forks for like a fancy company dinner.
Yeah.
And then I drank
Saying
a
it
bunch
now.
of wine. And then we showed up there and I drank a bunch of tequila and then 1,000 beers. And
I was worried. I was like, "You guys aren't going back." And I just look at Montine. She's like, "We're staying right down the road." I was like, "Okay, you're good."
All right.
shout out Montine.
Fucking A. Thank you again, brother.
I love you guys.
And remember.
Don't question if I love hip hop.